Believe you can and you're halfway there. Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in a grey twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. No man is above the law and no man is below it, nor do we ask any man's permission when we ask him to obey it. A vote is like a rifle, its usefulness depends upon the character of the user. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. People ask the difference between a leader and a boss. The leader leads, and the boss drives. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left an aim worth remembering. The best executive is one who has sense enough to pick good people to do what he wants done, and self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it. Get action. Seize the moment. Man was never intended to become an oyster. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged have all their five senses in the keeping of their wits. When they call the roll in the Senate, the senators do not know whether to answer present or not guilty. The boy who is going to make a great man must not make up his mind merely to overcome 1,000 obstacles, but to win in spite of 1,000 repulses and defeats. Behind the ostensible government sits enthroned an invisible government owing no allegiance and acknowledging no responsibility to the people. Old age is like everything else. To make a success of it, you've got to start young. I took the canal zone and let Congress debate, and while the debate goes on, the canal does also. I never worry about action, but only inaction. Absence and death are the same, only that in death there is no suffering. If there is not the war, you don't get a great general. If there is not a great occasion, you don't get a great statesman. If Lincoln had lived in a time of peace, no one would have known his name. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. Keep your eyes on the stars, and your feet on the ground. Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything. A thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education. A man who has never gone to school may steal from a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. With self-discipline, most anything is possible. The things that will destroy America are prosperity at any price, peace at any price, safety first instead of duty first, the love of soft living, and the get-rich-quick theory of life. Courtesy is as much a mark of a gentleman as courage. When you play, play hard. When you work, don't play at all. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, certainly I can. Then get busy and find out how to do it. No great intellectual thing was ever done by great effort. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do. That is character. We can have no 50-50 allegiance in this country. Either a man is an American and nothing else, or he is not an American at all. Every immigrant who comes here should be required within 5 years to learn English or leave the country. It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things. Obedience of the law is demanded, not asked as a favor. A man who is good enough to shed his blood for the country is good enough to be given a square deal afterwards. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. Speak softly and carry a big stick, you will go far. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. It is only through labor and painful effort, by grim energy and resolute courage, that we move on to better things. Great thoughts speak only to the thoughtful mind, but great actions speak to all mankind. The government is us, we are the government, you and I. The first requisite of a good citizen in this republic of ours is that he shall be able and willing to pull his own weight. Character, in the long run, is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike. Don't hit at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. I don't pity any man who does hard work worth doing. I admire him. I pity the creature who does not work, at whichever end of the social scale he may regard himself as being. I am a part of everything that I have read. No man is worth his salt who is not ready at all times to risk his well-being, to risk his body, to risk his life, in a great cause. Leave it as it is. The ages have been at work on it, and man can only mar it. The inherent vice of capitalism is the unequal sharing of blessings, the inherent virtue of socialism is the equal sharing of miseries.